journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, I had two trades that we were watching today very, very closely. One was the cattle, and they opened up 3 cents, which was a huge amount, and it got filled us right near the high. It's backed off a little bit. So you put your stop up here at 213 right now and not worry about it. That's 43 days up. 43 trading days up in the run here. 43, you can see ABCD, three drive to a top. Hey, we've seen these things fail, so make sure you put your stops in. That's basically what we're looking at. The one I like the best is this one right here, folks, and we still got a chance at this one. We almost get, hey, folks, we're almost ready to make a new high here in the Dow Jones up here at 424560. I have to be a seller there. 42460. We're at 42421 because that's an ABCD, and Gartley said sell ABCDs in new bear markets. I don't know if this is a bear market or not, but it certainly had some potential coming into today. Okay, now let's take a look here. The reason why I said that, folks, I can hear my alerts go off in the background here to tell me they're getting close to a filling. Now, here is the daily chart. This is the one that I like the best. This is we're having a 3 drive to a bottom pattern. Now, last night we made a new bottom down here at 42 at 352. Now, the number we were looking for was 348. If you'll remember, 348 was the number we were waiting to buy it at. I said, I like his stuff at 358 or 558 just as well as I do at 348. But so it's going to get down there. See, we're just making a new low right now as we speak. So the 348 number is still valid. So let's just draw that in right now, and you'll see there's where we are. We're buying it right there. Let me write that. Oh my goodness, hang in there. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, folks. Can't do anything about that. Only 2 more weeks of it, and it's actually going to be less than 2 weeks because the trees have already bloomed, and they are not putting out as much pollen as before. Unfortunately, they got me this morning. And the number we're going to buy is at 548, okay? And we're going to put a stop at 538. You're going to become a farmer. For wheat. This is December wheat. This is a 3 drive to a bottom pattern. There's your 1.618 expansion. It's got everything that you could possibly ask for in a trade, just like the cattle did, and maybe it'll fail too. You can saw. I felt so strongly that we were going to come down in stocks because we had stopped at that 618 for 6 days in a row, and I said in the newsletter that this is either major support or major divergence, or major support or major top, and it happened to be support because the news came out about the tariffs, which they change every 10 minutes, whatever it happens to be, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just looking at patterns, folks, and ABCD, we're almost there, folks. Up, we hit it. We just hit it, 2464. So it did get to that number, 24464. So if you sold it at 56, the actual number was 60. So if you sold it at 60, you put your stop loss, put that 424 80, is that right? No. 42560 is where your buy stop would be. Okay, so that's what we're paying attention to here right now in the Dow Jones. Okay. And the wheat, we'll get back to that and take a look at it too, because I really do like this wheat trade down here at 48, folks. I really do. Folks, unless people are going to stop eating cookies, pasta, and bread, this thing's going to go higher because this is a major pattern right in here that we're looking at. Very, very close. You can see where we are. Just made new lows, and there's the key. You see, there's the ABCD 127 measures to 54, and we're already at 52.5. So I'm assuming it's going to make this 1.618 expansion here at 48. That's why your stop's going to be just a little below that. There's your number here of the larger ABCD pattern going back a long way. It's going back to last February. There's your ABCD measures to 550. We're at 552.5 right now. Maybe it's only going to get to 550, but we got an order sitting at 548. It's late in the day. We made lower lows, so why wouldn't it make it? That would be my guess. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see one at a time. That's what we're paying very close attention to. Now, the other things that we've been watching, folks, now, if you remember, we've been quite bearish on the gold market, and the gold market has taken a little bit of a sell-off today. Let's move this, get these out of the way here, and so we can see it a little better. And where did I put it? The gold is, oh my goodness, I can't believe I don't have gold in here. I've had it here all morning. What happened to it? Let's get it up here. Sorry, folks. Get this up here, right here, and we'll get this gold up in just a short period of time. GC, where you are, there you are, and we'll get this up here. We'll open it up, and let's get on here with just an hourly chart, because that's what we were watching. In fact, you can see how much we've been down today, folks. We're down $117 a barrel. Try it again, Larry. It's in ounces. It's $117 an ounce, folks. You can see how much we've dropped here today. We had a little 382 here last night. We had another one right here, and we're still heading down. Now, what's really important is you go back here, you see how close we came to this move right here, and all we did was make a 382 retracement this morning. That was $50. So this thing is still heading down, folks. If you look at this, you know, your larger ABCD on this tells you that this is what is happening. So we're probably heading down to that 51.77. Is that what the number we were looking at before? I believe that's it. 51.76 is, if we look at the daily, hopefully it'll have all the data in it. Oh, it doesn't. Just a second. Refresh maximum, and you'll be able to see it. That'll make this ABCD pattern right here at, we'll draw it in so you'll be able to see it. There's your high, low, high coming in 51. This one says it's going to be around 51.43 is the ABCD. If we take this out, and we are within a heartbeat of this, folks, this is just a few bucks. So if we take that out, we'll be looking around 31.43. And the 618 on that is just a little higher, 31.76, I believe. Yeah, 31.75 could be the real key. So 31.75, 31.43, and but, you know, my goodness, we've dropped, after the high came in, you see, we've dropped $300 an ounce. That's bigger than the 200 that we thought we were going to happen. So this is probably a bear market now for a while, but we are in an area where we're about to bounce. We're oversold, and, you know, the bulls in gold are hard to get rid of. So there's going to be some violent rallies would be my guess. So let's remember that. Okay, now let's move on over here, and we'll be right back here in just a second, and hold on, and we'll see where we are, okay? We'll be right back.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, a couple of markets that we've been bearish on for quite a while. This is the currency markets. You can see here the euro's just been breaking badly. We mentioned once below 112 it was going to probably accelerate, and as you can see here, that's exactly what happened. We were saying once it broke below that, this was in the video last night, that once we broke that, we were going to go a lot lower. We've done that. You can see the pound getting hammered also. Both of those are working really well. And, of course, the big daddy rabbit over here that's the most bearish of them all is what everybody loves, and that's Treasury bonds, folks. I'll tell you, I don't know why people like bonds, but, boy, they look really bad. I've mentioned in the newsletter that we've had this weekly 382 retracement. Went to the 61, but there's your 382 and this one right here, and we're still coming down now 3 weeks. This is not a good sign for the Treasury bond, folks. It might change in a moment, but right now there's a lot of selling. When you stop and think how much money is coming into buying stocks and nobody wants to buy bonds, somebody's not throwing caution to the wind, I don't think, but we'll see. Anyway, that's what we're looking at in the Treasury bond market, and we've covered we got Norm coming up here in just a few minutes. I want to make sure that we get a couple of things taken care of as far as stocks, because so many people. By the way, folks, if you happen to have done that trade in the Dow Jones up there at 42460. You don't have to risk a full point now. All you have to do is put your stop at 42480. You only have to risk, that's pretty too close. Let's make it 42451, 425. That's $200 risk here. Right now it's got a $250 profit, but don't mess with it. Just put your stop at 425. Make it an odd number, 425.0560. That's $200 risk, and that's all you have. Right now, you could take $250 profit. I wouldn't. I would put the stop. I'd rather lose $200 and just take this and miss some of this. So that's what we're watching. Okay, get this out of the way of what we're paying attention to here. Now, I have a question on a couple of stocks, and one of them is Apple. And, of course, the news today is Apple's up 8% or something ridiculous. Well, that's not ridiculous. I mean, they're having big moves, folks. But if you take a look at this, I'm going to show you on these charts, this is not a big deal. Look what Apple did. I mean, it has a big gap up, but it's not going nuts. I mean, here's the 382 yesterday. And you have that, it's rallied up $10 from that level, but that's not going crazy to the upside. If we look at Tesla, that was on its way higher. If you'll remember, we were watching that. We'll do NVIDIA first. And then we'll also look at Tesla. See, NVIDIA did gap above there's your number right there. You see, we were looking for an ABCD coming in here in NVIDIA. Let's see how close we are to it. And you'll see there's your AB leg right here. There's your CD leg right there. And we should get up there to about 12. There it is right there, 22. It's trading right now. There's your ABCD. I just saw it just kicked in. 21.95 was the ABCD. We gapped up and we're at 22.60. So that's completing the ABCD. And then the next one we'd want to watch is Palantir, because it's in the news all the time. And it's actually down on the day. That's hard to believe. It was higher, and now it's down. That's a very unusual situation here. Let's just see if that made the 786 off the last move. We'll just bring that up and see if it did, and we'll stop. Yep, we went right to the 786, and it's backed off a little bit from 120, went all the way back to 115, so that's holding that together. And then the last one we want to take a look at here is Tesla, and here it is right here. That one should be up pretty strongly, I think. Yep, there we are. It is going strongly, and let's get together and see where we are. We gapped above the 382 this morning, folks. That was a real positive thing, and so far we've been to the 50% level right now. But remember, this has been down for a long time. Let's just draw the real 382 off with a big high way back here, and that comes in today. There it is right there. 319, that's a 382 off the all-time high in December. So that's another one of taking a look at. So that's what we're paying attention to here. I hope that helps as we walk through some of these things that we're waiting to see. We've had a question about new crop soybeans, which is November, because you remember I was very bullish these long term. I want to get this up here so we can discuss the best way to handle it. Here is there's where we are right now. And you can see here this morning with the tariffs coming in, that was what kicked this in the rear this morning. And I mentioned once we went above 1040, this was a really positive thing. And boy, we've gone 14 cents above it already. This was early this morning. We gapped up real early, and then, of course, it went higher. Now we're trying to buy the wheat, which is way down here. Now that's a totally different pattern because it's a totally different product. Soybeans consist of meal and oil. Wheat is the stuff you make for, everything we eat. Bread, pasta, macaroni. And so anyway, those are the things that we're watching here as we're looking at these things here today. Remember, folks, these patterns fail about 35-40% of the time, but the other part, they work pretty good. So that's all you can do is do the ones that work. And like my grandpa used to tell me, don't take any losing trades. He said that's the secret to being successful in this business. Okay, so we've got the 382 here in Tesla. We've looked at Apple. We looked at NVIDIA, we looked at Palantir, and now we had another question that someone asked was about the soybean meal. I want to get that up here because we've been friendly to that for quite some time. We're finally getting a move here related to that, which is all related to this is December meal, which is the new crop, and that's going along with what soybeans are telling you. So that's up. They had a lot of support down here at 301.50, folks. We were there for 9 or 10 days, and now we're starting to come out of it. So I'm going to repeat it again. I really do like the wheat, but like I say, it might not work. And that's the key. But boy, there's a lot of people. One thing we ought to do here, since we got kicks and giggles going on here, let's get this out of the way here, and we'll take a quick look at this. Hold on one second. And okay, you now got $500 in that Dow Jones trade. So either to put your stop at break even, and that's about it. So here is the wheat. I've got to do this with the nearby wheat, folks. Hold on just one second. And I want to just see how the AI is running today for the wheat, and we'll just get not that it's going to work or anything, but we're going to find out. This is what we're looking at today. I'm going to put the thing up and see what we were doing here. And see, it was upside down. See how the high came in exactly at that time. Let's just put that in right there. And you'll see that we'll just invert this because it's a mirror image of what's going on. And there it is right there. There was the high, and now you're still heading down, which is okay. You want to be a buyer down here. Now, this is July wheat. So let's look at this on the daily because It's also coming down. You see where we're looking at the 127 right here is at 511, and we're at 515 here right now. So we could easily get to that, and possibly even way down here. That would be a possibility. But right now we're looking at this. Now remember, there are two different crops of wheat. This is July, the nearby. Okay, December is the new crop. So we want to buy the new crop, and that's the one we're shooting for. And that number on the new crop is 548, 549. All right, let's take a break. 877-927-6648.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Norm Winsky of Astro Trends. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. Can you hear me okay, Larry?
Coming in perfect. You got the house, so tell us what you're looking at,
that's
buddy.
my first time with you on on the teams,
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks for having me on, Larry. I was last on your show on April 25, ahead of some important cycles, and I'm going to review those now. Here's the rules of the game. We want to see the market go in a direction into our time window, and if it does that, then about the average is about 75% of the time the market will reverse within a day. And if that happens, you'll see a green arrow on the chart. And if it doesn't happen, you'll see a red arrow on the chart. That's a miss. Green is good, red bad. And if it's going sideways, we don't do sideways. So I put a yellow box there to indicate a pass. Okay, and one more thing to tell you. Stocks potentially respond to all these events, whereas commodities and all the other markets tend to only respond to a narrow set of factors, like a particular planet or a sign. Okay, so our first one up here, AC is after the close. So we had Jupiter line up with the U.S. sun. That has to do with what we call a natal chart. Where the planets were when the USA was founded on the 4th of July of 1776. And so we'll be looking for major change in trend for stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. Anytime we have the U.S. chart, we look at stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. Also that night, the night of the 25th, that's after the close, we had a new moon in the sign of Taurus, and it was also a perigee. That only occurs about every 14 months. Usually there's one or two of them in that general time period, and then it phases out because the perigee is when the moon is closest. That cycle is a little bit shorter than the regular full moon, new moon cycle, and so they only come into phase about every 14 months. So anyway, anytime we have a full moon, new moon, we'll be looking for financials, grains, precious metals, oil, cattle, and cotton. And then we have Jupiter to the U.S. chart again, the night of the 28th for stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. The night of the 29th, let's see, that was a 29th. Was that a weekend? No, that was not a weekend. 29th, Jupiter lined up with the U.S. chart again for stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then over the weekend of May 2nd, we had Pluto in the sign of Aquarius turning retrograde. And one of my rules is that when the planets change trend, the markets change trend. And by the way, if you'd like any help with any of these technical terms, give me a call or drop me an email. We'll set up a chat, and I'll give you a free class explaining some of these terminologies and how they might affect the markets. You get a free class just for contacting me. All right, here's the chart. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Here's the charts. There's corn. You can see we rallied into that's the full moon there, I believe. Yeah, we had the new moon. Sorry, new moon. There's the new moon right there. And you can see corn rallied into the moon. Missed it by the high by a couple of pennies there, handful of pennies, before we had a nice drop. So that was a winner. Here's soybeans were, in a way, kind of even better because you had a pretty big rally there in beans. And if you sold against that high, you did very well. Had a nice drop there on the soybeans. Wheat was going sideways into the moon, so we do nothing. Here's cattle. Cattle was stampeding to higher prices, and so we had a miss there on the cattle. Cotton was pretty good. If you sold against that high there right on the moon, then you had a big drop there on the cotton, and every penny, in cotton is worth $500, and I think that was good for about, looks like about 69 down to about 66, about 3 cents. It'd be about $1,500 over 3 or 4 days. Here's cocoa. Over here, this is our Pluto. Cocoa has to do with Pluto, and you can see it had a little short-term top there. And cocoa is now a big money market. Used to be a little money market, but it's kind of crazy. So that's a pretty good money there. Dropped from 89 down to about 500 points. I think that's about $5,000, And there we go. I could be wrong. I think that's right. And here's hogs. They rallied up into our Pluto point there, and they made a nice short-term top there also. Here's crude oil, beautiful, right into the moon there. New moon, you made a very nice top there on the crude oil, and that dropped several dollars from there, from about 63 down to about, wow, that's big. If you hang in there for the full swing down, that's like 55, about $8. That's $8,000, you know. Here's copper. Copper did not cooperate, and so that's a miss. Here's silver. You made a pullback low there on the silver, popped up for a day. I think that was good for about half a buck on the silver. That's about $2,500 on the big contract, and about a fifth of that on the little guy. And here's gold. You rallied into that little top there for the moon, and then had a very nice pullback there. And by the way, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, off the record. Larry was talking about the gold a little while ago, and the gold topped on April 22nd, immediately right in about a 3-day period there. You had 2 planets at aphelion. That's from the Greek, meaning from the farthest from the sun. And gold is ruled by the sun. And also Mars going into Leo, and the sun rules Leo. So you had all these things shouting, look at gold, right around the top there on April 22nd. So I'll be happy to talk to you about that when you give me a call. And here we go. Here's the S&P. We hit pretty good here on the S&P. We had 2 points there for the moon and the U.S. there, and then we went sideways, and then we had a nice pullback low there. Whoop, I keep doing that. I'm on a new computer here I'm not fully familiar with. Pulled back low there into the night of the 29th, into the opening of the 30th for a big rally there, and then we had a little short-term top there, and so it all worked out nicely on the S&P. Bonds were not quite as good. What am I doing here? Sorry about that. I got to get my charts, my computer straightened out here. Anyway, we're a day from we had 2 misses there. The bonds did not cooperate on the moon or our first U.S. point, but it did cooperate on a second U.S. point and this point here. And you can see we had hit the high of the month there, and then we had a little short-term bottom here, and you had a chance to make some small money there. And here's the dollar index rally. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got to pay a few bills. We'll be right back with Norm Winsky, folks. Stay tuned.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
We're back, folks, with Norm Winski. Please continue, Norm.
Thank you, Larry. When we jumped off to commercial land there, I was about to show the U.S. dollar index, and there we go. So it rallied into the moon and our U.S. point there, and then we had a nice pullback, one-day pullback into our next point for the U.S., and that was a nice low there, as you can see. So if we add up all the green arrows and the red arrows, we get 18 winners, 4 misses out of 22 for 81.82%. Here's off the record. I did not show this the last time I was on here because it shows the whole month. And if you want to get that, you'll have to make arrangements to get this. But this is like kind of like Bradley's index, which Larry talks about every now and then. And this is my version. Here's the blue line forecast. Here, I do this a month in advance, and then at the end of the month, I overlay. Well, actually, as we go through the month, I update it nightly on my nightly email updates, and I got the S&P 10-minute bars on there, if I could find my mouse. There we go, there's my mouse there, I guess. And there we go. And then the black bars are the S&P 10-minute bars. You can see there's some nice correlations there, and these are planetary points, so there's the moon right as soon as I can find my mouse again. Okay, there we go. Right there where that red arrow is, in the middle of the chart at the top of that peak, you have Venus turning direct and a full moon, and you can see it made a nice stop there. And over here, there was another point there, planet going 0 latitude at that bottom, and so forth. There's a whole class on this chart here to give you major high percentage turning points for the market. The only place that did not work really great was on this new moon over here on the 25th, where we did get a nice one-day pullback there, where you could have made some decent money there. But then in the context of this chart, where I was looking to get the big swings, I was looking for it to go down into the end of the month. And after a day or so after the moon there, we went up. So there we go. But if you were using good stop trade management, you would have made money anyway. All right, I'm moving ahead now into the future. And today is May 12th. And just a little while ago at noon Eastern time, I think it was 12:58 to be exact, Eastern time, we had a full moon in the sign of Scorpio. Anytime we have a full moon or new moon, we want to look at financials, grains. There's your wheat, Larry, precious metals, oil, cocoa, hogs, and T-bonds. And so I agree with you, Larry. Looking at that wheat chart, we should be making a low on the wheat pretty soon here, probably maybe no later than tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be today or not. They usually have to give the moon about a 1 day leeway, And then also tonight, after the close, we have Jupiter in the sign of Gemini line up with Uranus and Taurus, and we'll be looking for cattle, copper, cotton, possibly have a reverse if their charts are going up, 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 or down, down, down. And then the next morning, this indicates to me, by the way, for the stock market, since we have several events right in a row here, that we're going to probably be in a whipsaw mode here for a few days, where it goes up for a day or so and then down for a day or so, back and forth like a ping pong ball, So anyway, moon, north node to the U.S. chart, and stock C bonds U.S. dollar. The morning of the 14th, we got the moon's north node lighted with Saturn, and for coffee, oil, silver. And then the night of the 14th, and is that a weekend? No, that's not a weekend. And then the night of the 14th, that's after the close, Jupiter makes a 90-degree angle to the north node in Pisces for oil and silver. And then the night of the 15th, after the close, we have Jupiter. Oh, here we go. Jupiter is going to change signs heliocentrically. That's from the point of view of the sun. This only occurs once a year. Jupiter takes 11 and a half years to go around the sun and changes signs on average, about every 11 and a half months. So we'll be looking at cocoa, coffee, hogs. Silver is the main one there for that. And sugar, tea, bonds, wheat. And then over the weekend of the 16th, we'll have Uranus apogee. Uranus will be at its farthest point from the Earth. I think that's a yearly cycle. Cattle, copper, cotton. If you want to know who I am, if you haven't heard me before, I've been doing this over 50 years now. I think May 19th will be my 50th anniversary for when I stepped on the trading floor there in Chicago. It was this options exchange on the 19th of May, full time. I was involved, part-time involved there. I was still in college when I got involved in the trading floors there in Chicago. And so I bought a membership, made enough money during my college days trading on these stars, trading on the planets, that I was able to buy a membership on the then fledgling Chicago Board Options Exchange in 1975. And I also traded on the Chicago Board of Trade. We were in the same building there for a while. The Board of Trade created the CBOE and so forth. And so I survived there for 12 years. And then I got to be an old man in my 30s and decided I didn't want to be there anymore. So I sold my membership. And electronic trading was kind of coming in then. You could get electronic quotes. And you didn't have to be right there on the floor to see what was happening. So as that progressed, I moved farther away from the floor because I would rather sit in a chair than stand up and jump up and down all day long, All right, so you can get a hold of me. By the way, none of this stuff is over a fifth grade level. I know it's hard to believe. It looks complicated, but I will prove to you that that's the case. And by the way, time is the most important factor, I believe, in the markets. Gann said that time was more important than price, but I think you should use Larry's system to fine-tune your trades to nail it down so you'll know where to put your orders in at. And here we go. How to get a hold of me. You can find me, call me here in beautiful Naples, Florida at 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. You can now call me on Teams, but please send me an email first so we can set up a time for that at nwinski, Nwinski, at yahoo.com. And let's see, there we go. We got all my contact information, I think. Got my phone number. There's my email there, nwinski, at yahoo.com is also my email address. Looking forward to hearing some of the folks right away there, Larry.
Norm, thanks for joining us, buddy, and we'll have you on again in a couple of weeks. If you see something special, let us know, okay?
All right, thank you very much. I will.
You bet. Okay, folks, Norm Winski of Astro Trends, and he's got a lot of stuff happening today, and that full moon just kicked in just a little while ago, and boy, the moon here in Tucson last night was, my goodness, it was a planter's moon, folks. The boys in Minnesota, Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois could have been putting the beans and stuff out by 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. There was so much light out there. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, I posted a chart of DJT, Trump Media and Technology, Donald Trump's flagship. You'll notice, folks, this thing has gone from 180 all the way down to 12, rallied up to 55. It's now trading at 25. People have asked me, is Trump trying to control the markets? No, folks. He's a promoter. He really is. I met the guy 30 years ago at trader's wedding back in New York. He's a super nice guy and he's fun to be around. And but anyway, I mean, that has nothing to do with this. I mean, you know, this is people reacting all over the world, reacting to this stuff on the tariffs. I mean, they go from 140% tariff to 10%. I mean, that makes a big deal. Now, whether it sticks or not, or whether it goes through or not, we don't know the answer to that. It's just how it's reacting. All I'm doing is looking at ABCDs, and by golly, we got a couple really big ones up here. And I have to take a look at those, and that's why I'm looking at them. So that's it. If you did that trade in the Dow Jones, just keep your stop at break even, and that's all you have to do. It's right now it's got a small profit, and that's all you can basically do. You can't do anything more than that. So that's all I'm trying to look at. Same thing in the cattle. Keep your stop working in the cattle and get ready to buy the wheat. And sometimes they'll work, sometimes they don't. But by golly, they look pretty good. We have to watch soybeans, folks, because I think that market has turned, and we're getting into the time that if we get any type of weather problem this year, it won't make any difference about tariffs. These beans could go a whole lot higher, so let's keep an eye on that. We'll cover soybean oil on the show tomorrow, and our guest tomorrow will be Shane Smolian, the Wolf Trader, and then on Wednesday, I believe we're going to have Thursday, I believe we're going to have Paula Webb as our guest. And then on Friday, I'm hoping that we'll have Bill Meridian. We'll see if we can get Bill back to talk to us about his latest letter. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.